Ms Bev's Tips for the Top is brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, Bahamar, AID, and Everybody Wins.
Welcome to Ms Bev's Tips for the Top, a social media series created and hosted by Mrs. Beverly Wallace Whitfield. The series has been a lifelong dream of Mrs. Wallace Whitfield. Will cover a wide range of topics relative to our way of life. Some of the contents may mash your corns. However, I invite you to listen to the message, but don't shoot the messenger. Here now is your host, Ms. Beverly Wallace Whitfield.
Hello, we meet again. I'm Beverly Wallace Whitfield, former Secretary to the First Bahamian Governor General and first Chief of Protocol, not only in the Bahamas, but in the whole of the Caribbean. I'm coming to you with some more tips for the top. That's my dream. I'm fulfilling it. Today I'm starting off with general points, still under the umbrella of social graces. The first one was for ladies, the second one for gents. Today, it's general topics, things that I want you to correct as you go along in life. First of all, don't keep the glass or the drink in your hand if you're taking a photograph. It's inappropriate and it doesn't look very nice. You lose some of your polish when you do that. Another thing that you must be careful about, if you're invited to something, a social event, make certain of the dress for the occasion, because you don't want to wind up in jeans with holes in it at a tea at Government House. Always check so that you are always appropriately dressed for the occasion. Dress for success. As you sit and dine, the first thing you always do is to pick up the napkin off the table and put it across your lap. And remember, ladies, I said the last time that napkin covers your handbag, which is no longer on the table because you took my advice. Thank you. Be sure of your table manners. Don't sit at table and pick your teeth or try to get rid of a little bristle or something that's in your mouth. I remind you, you can go to the ladies' room, the gents' room, and take care of things like that. And ladies, while you're in the ladies' room, that's when you can repair your makeup, put on fresh powder and lipstick, comb your hair, and do all the things that make you look beautiful. But I want you to remember, everybody, you may be beautiful, but if you don't have good manners, you're like a garden without flowers. Never invite only half of a married couple. If they're married, take the hint. You don't separate them with an invitation. You either invite both persons or none at all. Never take a substitute to a social event. Do you know how annoying that is for the hostess when she is expecting a certain two persons and here comes one of them with a stranger? That's a no-no. Don't do it. If the invited female cannot come, you don't take a substitute. You call the hostess and ask if it's okay for you to bring somebody else. Give her the benefit of the decision. The hostess might have somebody that she didn't have a space for before, and now she does. And it's her event, so let her. make the decision. Don't take a substitute. After all, it's her social, Now, this is a real special no-no of mine. Take off your sunglasses when you are being interviewed or you are taking a photograph. It is a big no-no. Inappropriate big time. When you are dealing with another person on a personal basis, it is proper, correct, and courteous to look them directly in the eyes. I see sunglasses on stage, in church, anywhere, everywhere. I don't like it if the person is being interviewed, and I would like the reporters of today to stop interviewing persons in their sunglasses. Remind them to take them off and just put them aside for a minute or two and then conduct the interview or take the photograph. Ms Bev says, take off your sunglasses. So please take them off. The toast. This doesn't happen often, but you might be in a position where you've done something great and you're being toasted by friends and others. I want you to remember, you do not take part in the toasting. What you do is acknowledge that you are being toasted by your pleasant demeanor. You smile and your acceptance is obvious, but you do not drink to yourself. That's what the friends are doing, toasting you. And you just take a simple, sweet roll and enjoy it. Now, of this one, you're bound to shoot the messenger because I've seen it over and over again. Tell me, where do you wear your personal ID? Or it might be a company name. It's on your shirt, on your uniform, whatever your attire is. But you've got the ID already printed or stitched on your garment. What side is it on? I'm willing to bet you have it on the left side. That's where I've seen hundreds. But you know what? You're wrong. It should be on the right side. Why? Because if you're standing in front of somebody, the normal line of vision is to the right, not twisting your head to the left. It's to the right. So what do I do with all these uniforms that are already printed up and stitched up with the ID on the left? You should have asked the question before you got it printed. Now, all I can say is suffer until you get a new set. Don't shoot the messenger. Just listen to the message. I love to add tidbits when I do these presentations. And you know what they are? A little this and a little that. It's kind of potpourri. And today I'm going to give you tidbits from all over. Guess what? Port Charlotte, out west. So many things happen there. It's very popular. Even the independence celebration took place there. Did you know that that's 3 forts? Not just one. There's Fort Stanley, Fort Darcy, and Fort Charlotte. And I believe that the name Fort Charlotte stuck for the whole of the complex because the fort was named for the wife of King George III. So He was a great VIP, and I think that's why we only hear the name Port Charlotte. Did you know that the white bridal dress that the brides wear today, they have Queen Victoria to thank for that? In 1841, Queen Victoria was to marry her beloved Prince Albert. And she thought, I don't want what everybody's been wearing, a color. So she chose a white bridal gown. And there the tradition began. Brides wear white. So you have Queen Victoria to thank for that tradition. Speaking of Queen Victoria and near her home, there's 66 steps that take us to Fort Castle and over the hill. They were named that in honor of the 66 years that Queen Victoria was reigned. At that time, and since of course, she was considered the longest reigning monarch. But now Queen Elizabeth II claims that right, because I think the Queen Elizabeth II put in 70 years of reign. I end with this tidbit taken from my younger years. Did you know that when a funeral passed in the street, that everybody stood still? Pedestrians and vehicles stood still until the entourage passed. Even shops closed their doors. Can you imagine? That was respect for the dead. I thought, why don't we still do something like that? There are a couple of words, a few words, that I want to bring to your attention. Remember, this is tidbits or variety of topics. After a funeral, we usually have a social and we call it a repast. The proper word is repast with a T, not double S, but ST, repast. In future, get that right, please. The other one that we don't seem to get right is conversate. The correct word is converse, to talk. And then we also use blessed when we really mean blessed with a T. I'm going to end this section with a story about the famous Ardastra Gardens. Did you know Hedley Edwards started those exotic gardens many years ago? And his intention was to bring something exotic to the Bahamas. He wanted a name and he wanted it to be different so the gardens would be remembered. So he named them Ardastra Gardens. And people called those gardens what they heard or thought they heard. Ardastra Gardens. And that is what everybody called it. But he really named them Ad Astra Gardens, meaning to the stars. I told that to a friend of mine who is today one of our leading athletes in the hurdles, Devon Charlton. I said, Ad Astra means to the stars, and I want you to always aim for the stars in your athletic life. Do you know she took that to heart so seriously? She printed those words on her first water bottle, and since then she has had them tattooed down her spine. down and back. Go, Devon, go. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time. And remember, consistency is what transforms us into excellence. Be consistent.
You've been watching Ms Bev's Tips for the Top. See you next time.
Ms Bev's Tips for the Top was brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, Bahamar, AID, and Everybody Wins.